you again so much, everyone, for joining this evening, and a special thanks to our hosts.
I'll try my best.
It's okay. All right, guys, I know we have a lot of excitement in the back. I'm going to ask for your attention for a few minutes. Let's get into it. So for our first question, Lukas, I'm going to kick it off. Oh, yeah.
Hello, everybody. If you can hear me in the back, say woo. Okay.
All right, party time, friends. So we have gathered this evening to discuss smart wallets, a phrase meme growing in popularity alongside account abstraction. But of course, every one of us probably has a slightly different definition of what that means in our own practice. So Lukas, can you kick us off with your definition of smart wallets and their relationship to account abstraction in your practice?
Okay. Yeah, I'd actually like to derail your question a bit because I think there's one term that's needs also to be defined. So we have account abstraction, we have smart wallets, but there's also smart accounts. So smart accounts are actually like the smart contract-based user accounts that do enable like the benefits that we hear about, like social recovery, batch transactions, like all kinds of like signature schemes, and like these are really the user accounts, but these are right now on Ethereum, and I'm not sure anyone is listening. So these are right now on Ethereum. I'm just going to talk louder and louder until everyone in here is going to listen. All right?
Let's be quick.
Keep it.
People are thirsty.
All right. So we have smart accounts. These are the user accounts. We have account abstraction. This is really like how do we make smart accounts like first-class citizens in Ethereum. And then we have smart wallets. These are like how do users actually use these smart accounts? Like these can be software wallets or other kind of wallets, like really the user interfaces. And I think these terms are used very interchangeably, but it's actually important that we distinguish them because they have quite some different meaning. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Yes, always good for us to define our memes, especially as they are evolving in real time. So Hilmar, Gelato is well established in augmenting smart contracts from rebasing stables to petting Avogachis. But in the universe of smarter wallets, what does it mean for apps to have to get smarter? What does it mean for us to contemplate extending smart contract capabilities both in front of the user and from the app side as well?
Yeah, so crypto is cool, I think, because first of all, we have non-custodianness, right? So we own our assets. Second of all, it's a fully permissionless open system where we can interact with any sorts of APIs and services. And then three is really we can create these automated processes that just like take our money, and we can define certain rules or intents, and they just sort of magically happen and we don't have to deal with them. But really with like EOAs, what were the standards until today, we really only had like the first two, and then the third one we always had to sort of delegate to other smart contracts. And these smart contracts like owned our assets, and then they can move them around, like always get me the highest interest rates here or there. But now we sort of flip it on the head, and we have smart contract wallets as the place where you can just store your funds, like the Safe, for example. Then from your smart contract wallet, you can basically do and define any rules or intents you want to have, and straight from there you can move these assets to different protocols. You can interact with whoever you want. You can trade directly with each other. You don't necessarily need you park your money in other protocols anymore, which is super cool. And when we started Gelato, we actually were a module on the Safe. And we thought, hey, why would you build like another protocol? Let's just plug into the Safe. Let's just automate these smart contract wallets on behalf of users. But back then it was prohibitively expensive. We couldn't really do it. So we pivoted to building with protocols and their smart contracts. And yeah, now it's finally with like L2s like Base and other cheap networks, it's finally the time to realize that vision of smart contract wallets and making them truly smart.
Hear, hear.
Yes, so given that it is time,
Woo!
yes. So Friederike, given your sort of bird's eye view of the landscape, and the fact that we are watching in real time as account abstraction expresses itself in our ecosystem, we're seeing an interesting start to the rollout and implementation of these technologies. Obviously, we've got a lot of enthusiasts of 4337 in the house. What's up, guys? And in addition to that, we're also seeing other models elsewhere in the ecosystem. So 4337 offers a path outside of the EVM, whereas approaches like Starkware kind of break the EVM to enable more native integration. So given the diversity of these approaches, what's an ecosystem to do?
Well, I think all of these approaches kind of go into the right direction, right? Basically making things more usable for normal people. Because basically if you look at the products we're building at the moment, they are very much crypto products for crypto users. And I think kind of getting to a point where anyone can use the products that we're building, I think we kind of need to be, we need to have some sort of account abstraction, and I think kind of the pros or cons of each one of these approaches. It's not actually that important. I mean, it feels important to us now, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not important. It's important that we kind of make things usable for regular people and kind of offer a legitimately better user experience than the equivalent Web 2 product, which we kind of can do with self-custody. So that's also kind of the play on Gnosis Pay, right? We all pay literally probably like upwards of 10 times a day for stuff. And in principle, we could actually build it such that you do it self-custodially. I mean, obviously you can say, yeah, we can do that with cash. Obviously you can do it with cash, but basically kind of something that is like cash, but not. So so I think kind of building things that are actually truly usable and don't have this, these are your 12 words, never lose them, never show them to anyone, or all your funds are gone kind of feel to them, because that's not going to fly with kind of the next 100 million people or so. So yeah, actually getting to a point where things are truly usable. And in the end of the day, I'm a techie, but I don't really care about the tech stack that kind of powers it in the end. I just think we need to get there.
We need more usability, stuff that does things, and it sounds like we have the right momentum and we're learning the implementation details as we go. So Jesse, Coinbase today often serves as the first stop for many people new to crypto. I'm sure many in this room maybe got their start there as well. So with a suite of experiences from your first centralized exchange account all the way to graduating to your very own EOA, we've got quite a journey mapped out that can continue with account abstraction. So from the base ecosystem perspective, how can account abstraction shorten this user journey to getting people on chain?
And for maybe those who don't know, Base is a new Ethereum L2 being incubated by Coinbase, but decentralizing. We just launched the mainnet on Thursday for builders, more coming soon. Woo! Trying to bring a massive Fortune 500 company on chain, which is a whole thing. I think when we started thinking about like what it would take to get the next billion people on chain, we basically saw that there were three big challenges. One was it's still too expensive, and now we're solving that with Gnosis Pay, L2, with Base, with all the L2s. The second was that we don't have good enough identity tools, and I think Disco's chipping in there. There's a lot of other people who are coming together to make that possible so people can actually show who they are on chain. And then the third was that wallets are way too hard. Just like the threat of being able to mess something up, sorry, of being able to mess something up, like show your seed phrase or lose your wallet and lose all your money, that's like not a viable reality for 99.9% of the people in the world. And maybe like 99.9% of the people in this room, realistically. And so I think from the Base ecosystem, from the Coinbase perspective, our thesis is that we've solved L2s, we are close to solving a bunch of the identity stuff, and the next big challenge is fitting all the pieces together, like Safe, like Gelato, to make it so wallets just work. And you can store all your money, you can store it on chain, and you can have the same peace of mind that you would have if you stored it in a bank account that's protected by the government. But instead of being protected by the government, it's protected by open source software, it's protected by code that you trust and know, and it's protected by decentralization that we all believe in. And so the pieces are here. I think it's about just putting them together. And I think this is the year. It's on-chain summer. Like the world is coming on-chain right now, thanks to all of these people hard work, and it's going to be a crazy next few years of scaling.
Y'all heard it here. It's on-chain summer. And as that is heating up, yes. So we got, L2s for days. We are exploring what it means to become an L2, even if you didn't start off as one. So we're seeing all kinds of different chain configurations. And when we think about this multi-chain present and evolving future, that begs the question, like, how does this interact with account abstraction and the way that we are building out this ecosystem? So smart contract wallet usage is pretty commonplace on L1 and is evolving on L2s. But for anyone interested in answering this, how will account abstraction impact the barrier to transacting across chains? Are we making this easier or more complex? Or does that not matter because we're just hanging out on our home chain?
Transacting across chains due to account abstraction. Yeah, I'm not sure how deep into the technicalities we want to go. There's definitely a lot of problems that still have to be solved when it comes to transacting across chains. Having smart contract wallets is like the default account, especially when we go to chains like ZKVM or so, which spit out different addresses if you want to generate them with create 2 opcodes and stuff. So it is not as straightforward as some people might think. But I think the team from Safe and from many other projects in the space are building really good tooling right now to try to abstract that all away from users and developers. They shouldn't care about which address I could deterministically deploy on certain chains. This should all be abstracted in a nice package for them. They should just install it, preferably by like a wallet directly. And they just like install an npm package and that's it. So I think we're making good progress. It already looks much better than it was like half a year ago, I must say. And so for me, the missing piece right now is really the wallet and having a really nicely integrated wallet, which is the standard for how you transact on these new L2s, for example. And I'm bullish on finally solving that issue as an ecosystem.
All right, the NPM packages are coming. So in the interim, let's get ready. So maybe for some quick parting shots from everyone, would love to hear your projections for adoption of smart contracts in lieu of our EOAs. So when do you think that smart contracts will overtake EOAs for everyday use in terms of time or in terms of a particular technological advancement or capability brought to the masses? What's your quick guess, guys?
So we actually had pretty much this question 2 years ago when we thought like, what's really the purpose of Safe? And we thought like the purpose of Safe is like by 2030 we want to have that all Web3 interactions is starting from smart wallets. So 7 years from now, I actually think now it's going to be faster than that. Like there was Vitalik did a talk today at EthCC and he asked like how many people here have a Safe, and 75% of people hold up their hand. Might not be their primary accounts, but there's still like smart accounts are getting more and more adopted. And
I've got 40 safes.
Okay. I'm not sure you're an average user, but I do think that we reached a tipping point, and at some point smart wallets will just show so much the benefits in such short time and unleash so much innovation that it will go from like 5% of adoption to 100% within a year, I guess.
Yeah, I second that. I think you need a really good mobile wallet experience. So I don't think it's going to be a web-based wallet. It's going to be a mobile wallet, and this is that feels like a neobank and acts like a neobank, but on chain. And yeah, we're absolutely here to build it.
Phenomenal. Any other quick thoughts?
I think that as an industry, we've been kind of collectively traumatized by the last 10 years of crypto being like flat with these weird spikes that are exclusively connected to price and not actually connected to adoption. And so all of us like sit here and we're like, it's never gonna happen. And I think it's happening, like literally right now. If you look at the numbers of smart contract wallets, if you look at the numbers of on-chain users, if you look at the number of on-chain developers, just in the last 6 months, all of them have started ticking up in a really serious way. And at some point, we are going to hit the moment where we start growing 10 to 20% month over month until we have literally 8 billion people on chain. And my personal perspective is that we've actually already passed that moment. That moment was sometime earlier this year. And over the next 6 to 12 months, we are going to see what happens when you start going 20% up month over month, which is that you just start going up and to the right. And so end of the decade, I think the whole world's going to be on chain. Like literally every single part of the world will be on chain. I think by the end of next year, we will see hundreds of millions of people on chain using smart contract wallets. I think it's going to happen way faster than any of us expect.
On-chain summer.
On-chain summer. Let's go.
On-chain summer indeed. Well, thank you so much to our panelists. Really appreciate the opportunity to have this conversation. Let's give everybody a round of applause.
Go team. Thanks, everyone.
All right, thank you guys. So I am Evan McMullen here from disco.xyz. I think we have one more panel for this evening, and then we are going to part ways into the fun.